Okay, if you're a PC gamer, you definitely know this feeling, even if you don't really talk about it much. It's that little background worry, that constant low-grade anxiety of missing out on something great. You hear about a free game, maybe a huge one you want to play, but then it's like, okay, is it on Steam? Wait, did Prime Gaming drop something new? Do I need to log into Epic right now? Like, before Tuesday. That fear, that FOMO, it kind of forces us into this ritual, right? Manually checking, I don't know, like a dozen different stores, Epic, GOG, Ubisoft Connect, just trying to make sure you grab everything. It's total information overload. Perfectly designed for gamers who love a bargain, but, are always busy. And that specific problem, that time sink, is exactly why we're doing this deep dive today. We're looking at a tool built to fix this, the Epic Freebie Games Radar application.
Right. And our goal here isn't just, reading off a feature list. We want to give you the shortcut, the quick synthesis of what this thing actually does. So we need to define what it pulls together, how wide a net it casts platform-wise, and importantly, what are the trade-offs if you decide to use it as your kind of main alert system.
Okay, yeah, let's start right there, the core identity. Looking at the developer info, it's from Ariok PD's Apps and Games. Now, that name, Epic Freebie Games Radar, it's a bit, well, it's a bit misleading, isn't it? Because what it
No.
actually does is way broader than just Epic Games. At its heart, this is a game deal aggregator,
Yeah.
but it's got a very, very specific focus. It only cares about free stuff, free content. So no 50% off deals, no bundles, just the good old $0 price tag.
Yeah, and what's really interesting there is how the developers zeroed in on that. They seem to get for people short on time, the biggest win isn't always finding the cheapest sale.
Yeah.
It's cutting out the friction of finding the completely free things. So the main goal is just pure convenience. Simple as that.
Mm.
It's designed to stop you needing to open like 5 different browser tabs every week. If you can just see all the promotions, which, let's be honest, they're trying to pull you into their stores anyway, see them all in one place, that cuts down the hunting time dramatically.
It really changes the mental load, doesn't it? Instead of feeling
Yeah.
like you have to check everywhere, you can sort of lean back and rely on this passive alert system. But okay, that reliance, it only really works if the coverage is genuinely good. I mean, if this app misses a big platform, its value just plummets, right? So let's unpack that coverage. How wide is this net, actually? Because trying to pull data from all those different stores sounds like a huge headache, technically speaking.
Well, it absolutely is a
Yeah.
massive operational challenge. You can appreciate that. But based on the source data we looked at, it seems they overcome that challenge with just sheer breadth. You look beyond the obvious ones like Epic Games and Steam, and the app includes really critical competitors and even some niche players too. We're
Yeah.
talking about platforms like Amazon Games, which is vital, right?
Yeah.
Because Prime Gaming is just this constantly changing list of freebies you can grab for a limited time. Plus Microsoft, the whole EA ecosystem, Origin or the EA app, GOG, Ubisoft Connect. I mean, that pretty much covers the vast majority of the PC market right there.
Yeah, that list alone covers like 99% of what I find myself checking every week. But here's the little surprise nugget we dug out from the sources, something that really speaks to how ambitious this app tries to be with its coverage. It also monitors storefronts from Rockstar Games.
And that's significant because Rockstar, they don't usually do big free game giveaways all the time. When they do give something away, it's often a major title, something high value, and the window to claim it can be really, really narrow. So if this system catches a Rockstar freebie or something similar, maybe a less frequent event from another smaller store, that single alert is gold dust. And that's why this breadth is so important. It makes sure you're not just tracking the regular weekly stuff, but also those sudden high-value pop-up promotions, the ones from platforms that don't stick to a predictable schedule.
Exactly. It's about covering that whole spectrum of how games get given away. That wide net is what makes it potentially a truly central alert system. Otherwise, yeah, you're back to checking manually just for those edge cases.
Okay, now let's dig into the content itself, the actual free stuff. Because, not all free is the same in gaming, is it?
This is where it gets kind of interesting, the different types of freebies. And the app seems to make these distinctions quite clearly.
Yeah, and that categorization,
Yeah.
it's absolutely critical for the user experience. You don't want to get pinged about something that's, always free when what you're really hunting for is that game that's about to disappear.
Yeah.
So the app seems to sort its findings into 5 main categories. It sets up a kind of value hierarchy.
Okay, let's run through them. So, top of the list, the real gems are the free-to-keep giveaways. These are the ones you claim, they get added to your library, and bam, they're yours forever. Licensed to your account, that's the main prize, right? Then you've got free-to-play, F2P games. These are just games that are always free. Their whole model is being free to start. Good to know they exist, maybe find new ones, but they aren't. Well, they aren't perishable. They don't expire.
Right. If you think about it like F2P games are like the free samples at the supermarket. Nice, but they're always there. Those free-to-keep giveaways, though, that's like a 100% off coupon, but it expires in like 48 hours. That coupon is where the urgency is, and that's what you absolutely need the alert for. The other categories, that's where the nuance really comes in. The application tracks limited time offers, so things like free weekends, maybe betas, demos. These are more about trying a game out, not necessarily owning it long term. Importantly, it also tracks exclusive giveaways and promotions, things that might be hidden away, not on the main store page.
And then the last one, which I think is often overlooked but actually really valuable, free DLCs. Downloadable content. I mean, missing a free base game, that hurts. But missing a free expansion for a game you already own and love, or like a big cosmetic pack, that's also a pretty painful miss, you know?
Absolutely. And being able to filter these, or at least understand which is which, it
Mhm.
means you're not wasting brain power on F2P games you already know about. You can focus your attention and your action just on those things that are time sensitive. The
Mhm.
free-to-keep games, the limited time DLCs. It really comes down to making the information timely and relevant for you.
Speaking of timely, this brings us neatly to the proactive stuff. The features designed to save you all that clicking and searching. Because the real value isn't just knowing the deals exist somewhere out there. It's being told when you need to act and maybe why. The sources point to a pretty robust personalized notification system. And this system seems to have two key jobs. The first is just pure discovery, letting you know straight away when new free games and promotions start. That's the exciting bit, finding something new.
But the second job, I think, is maybe even more valuable for reducing that gamer anxiety we talked about. It sends reminders before offers are about to expire. Maybe you claimed that free-to-keep game last Wednesday, got busy, totally forgot about it. This app is supposed to kind of tap you on the shoulder maybe 6 hours before that window closes.
That countdown clock feature is just, it's everything. We've all done it, right? You think you claimed a game or you meant to, but you didn't quite finish the process. And then you check back a day later and oops, too late. That reminder basically shifts the control back to you, lets you sort of confidently ignore all those stores until the app says, hey, time to actually grab this thing.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's talk practicalities. Getting access to this utility, this leads us right into the main trade-off, doesn't it? We've established this service provides really valuable time-critical info, but gathering that info, keeping it updated constantly, that costs money and effort. So how is this thing actually paid for?
Well, this is where the economics of it get quite interesting. The source material is pretty clear. The app itself has ads in it, which, okay, that's a common model for free tools. We see that everywhere. But digging into the user feedback specifically, there's a detail that raises a question. Some reports suggest there might not be a premium option, like no paid way to turn off those ads.
Huh. If that's actually true, that's a big choice by the developer, a structural thing. It suggests they're relying purely on that ad revenue model. Because if you could pay, I don't know, $3 a month or something to kill the ads, that'd be one calculation. You'd be paying directly for the convenience. But if the only option is seeing ads, then you're basically paying for the service with your attention, solely with your attention.
And that really does raise an important question for you, the user, the person trying to save time and grab these games. Given how complex it must be to track all these stores, monitor the start times, the end times instantly, and pull all that data together without errors, the operational cost has got to be significant. So the developer seems to have calculated that the value of the information they're giving you, that central alert system, is high enough to justify you looking at ads, regardless of how many there are. We should probably consider what no premium tier might imply too. Maybe the data upkeep is just so resource heavy they need maximum ad views to sustain it. Or maybe they believe the information itself, these free game alerts, should stay totally free for everyone to access, no paywall. But that access has to be subsidized somehow, and ads are the way they chose.
It's that classic trade-off, isn't it? Convenience versus, well, how the content gets delivered is consolidating all your ad exposure into this one app in exchange for maybe saving, say, 15 minutes of manual searching each week. Is that worth it for you? I mean, if you check a dozen sites manually, you're probably seeing ads on most of them anyway. So if this app bundles all that info and gives you those crucial timing alerts,
Ugly.
maybe watching some ads is just the price of admission for guaranteed timely knowledge.
Exactly. Understanding that exchange, your personal tolerance for ads versus the value of getting flawless, centralized, time-sensitive info that's really key to figuring out the app's total value proposition for you.
So wrapping this up, what does all this mean for you, the listener, the curious learner who, like us, really hates missing out on free games? Let's quickly summarize the value here. The Epic Freebie Games Radar app despite the name, aims to be that definitive central alert system for PC gamers hunting for freebies. It recognizes how messy the digital store landscape is right now, and it tries to give you just one place to watch all those time-sensitive free-to-keep opportunities across basically everywhere that matters, from Epic to Rockstar and, all the ones in between. It's designed to move you away from that tedious chore of manual checking and shift you into a more proactive mode where you just react to notifications to claim your games.
And maybe as a final thought, something for you to chew on. Consider how this kind of centralized ad-supported aggregation might fundamentally change the whole psychology around getting games. When you start relying on passive notifications like this, you kind of shift away from that anxiety of missing out, right? That fear that a store is hiding something you need to actively hunt down. And you move towards more of a confidence of, well, passive expectation. Get games not really through effortful searching anymore, but just by this simple, almost frictionless act of clicking a notification. What does that change in the effort involved? What does that do to how you perceive the value of the games you end up acquiring for free? Something to think about.